Hey gang, Chef Leah, and here we are with knife skills. For some of you, this is going to be a review. For some of you, this is just going to make you a better cook in the kitchen. So let's go over our knives, shall we? We always have our steel. This is a honing blade. It's really not to sharpen your knife, it's to hone your blade to keep it straight, because when you're cooking in the kitchen, you'll be surprised how many nicks and abrasions you're going to get on your knife. So this baby right here is going to keep it honed. And you're going to do this every day. You're going to use this honing steel every single day. So I'm going to take you through this, and then we're going to take a little walk through some knives, all right? Well, we don't want to walk through knives because then you're going to hurt yourself, but we're going to tour some different knives and what will work for you at home. All right, so here's your steel and here's your knife. You want to hold your knife with your 4 fingers around it and then your thumb up over that index finger. You're also going to do what feels good for you and what feels safe, but I want you to get used to holding a knife this way. I don't want you to hold a knife this way because you're going to eventually cut yourself. You're going to hold your knife with your fingers wrapped around that, nice secure grip, and then your thumb right there, okay? Now, here's your steel, here's your knife. What you're going to do is you're going to bring your knife all the way up, then you're going to bring it in half, and then you're going to bring it in half again. And that's where you want to slide your knife down to hone it. The same thing with your grip on your steel. You're going to notice that my hands aren't here. You're going to notice that there's a guard. That guard there is for a reason. It's to guard you. Do you see all those nicks? That's because the knife comes down and it's hitting this. So again, here's your grips. And you start all the way up. Then you bring it down to a quarter, a half, and then a quarter, and then you're just going to slide your knife down. You're going to do it 10 times. You don't have to go super fast. You want to practice? Just do it on one side constantly. And then as you build up speed, you'll go quicker. So we got 10 rotations. All right, so this is the chef's knife. This is one of the knives that you're going to use the most in the kitchen, this baby right here. They come in a couple different sizes. So anywhere from 8 to 12 inches is great for your chef knife. Some of you that have bigger hands, taller humans, you're going to want a little bit of a larger knife that you're going to use more often. For me, I like just a basic utility steel forged knife. It's a little heavy, but the blade is actually a little bit lighter, nice heavy handle for me to grip onto. I prefer that. You also have a round handle, and then you have octagon handles. And some people prefer the octagon, some people prefer the round. For knives, you absolutely have to find what works for you and what feels really good in your hand. This is essential. So we're going to remove these 2 babies. And I'm just going to show you what I work with. So you want to always have a fillet knife. Fillet knife is, you see how that moves? When you're working with meat, when you're working with fish, you want a flexible blade. Then we have our paring knife. Now, paring knives, a lot of people tend to lose them. So don't spend a lot of money on paring knives, but they're fantastic for all of your small work. And again, you're going to get a little bit of a flexible blade there. And these babies are super sharp. So again, you're going to see how my hand is on that, even the paring knife. I'm going to keep it there. Now, when I'm doing intricate work, I usually bring my finger up on the back, but we'll get into that as we go. And then, of course, you need a really sharp peeler. All right, so let's get started. Let's get started with a little demo for you. So let's make sure also that we're safe within everything we do. Here's my board. Underneath my board, I have this plastic sticky pad that's going to keep my board in place. You can also, at home, you can use a damp towel. You can use a damp paper towel. I personally don't really prefer that because what happens is you forget it's there, and then the moisture builds up and bacteria builds up, and then before you know it, you're flipping your board and your board has a bunch of bacteria on it, you're forgetting to clean it, and then you're putting a product on that bacteria. You're cutting it and you're putting it into a ready-to-eat salad, right? So let's make sure that you can put something under it that you're going to wash. You're going to remember that's there. Clean it. And then also, super safe. This board's not going anywhere right now. Look at that. Nice and safe. Okay, let's get started with demoing. First we're going to do is a dice. And this is really, a dice and a mince are going to be your most common cuts. And for those of you that work in commercial kitchens, it's really important to remember that when you're reading a recipe, and for those of you at home too, when you see a dice and they don't call out the size, it's going to be a medium, all right? And I'm going to show you what that is. I'm going to show you a small, medium, and a large. Okay, so for an onion, first thing we want to do when you're cutting any vegetable is you want to make sure it's stable. This isn't stable. I don't want you to start getting into it and start trying to dice it when it's not stable. So this is how we're going to make it stable. First, with an onion, you don't want to cry. Cry, don't cry. Don't take the root off. Leave the root on. So to get us started and to make it stable, we're going to put our knife right up here by the root. We're going to firmly grasp it on top, and then we're going to take our knife in a rolling motion all the way through. All right, and then you have a belly. You see that? I always call it putting it on the belly. All right, keep your board clean. So you see that? Now we're going to take the paper off. This is always the fun part, but by leaving these little bits and pieces at the end, you actually have something to grip, which is really super cool. Now, as we pull these back, we're going to keep all of this. We're going to put it right in a pot. We're going to keep a pot right here by us because we can use this for stock. We can use it for sauces. Don't throw it away. Don't throw all these bits and pieces away. It makes for great soups. And like I said, sauces, we could make a demi-glaze for our beef out of this. And we might just do that. Okay, it's keeping everything nice and clean. A nice working surface. I'm going to go ahead and start with just taking this little end off. Right? And let me back up real quick before we start this demo. Let's talk about how we behave with our hands around food that we're cutting. So I like to call it a bear claw. So if you're doing this and you're holding food and you're coming down your board, you're going to clip your finger, right? So in order to not clip your finger, what we like to call it is a claw or a bear claw. Or, you keep one finger forward and the other's back, and then you bend it, and that gives you a grip. So if you notice, right when I bend my fingers, right when I bend them, you're going to see a guard happening. This will go with you wherever you go with your produce, whatever you're cutting. Now, if I start to do this, I don't even have to look, right? I don't even have to look down because it's a guard. So I'm going to demo and you're going to see how we do that. But please don't keep your fingers forward. I see this often and I see people lose parts of their fingernails. This is the easiest thing. This will make you a better cook at home, and it's difficult to begin with, but once you start it and you get it down, you're going to be so excited because it's going to speed up your knife skills. Okay, so again, holding our knife safely. First thing we're going to do is from the root here, that's still attached, we're going to make slices all the way down, a thinner slice, and then we're going to come up and cut 3 slices going towards the root, so then we can dice, all right? So here we go. Here's our first, here's our second, third. You see actually how see my hands? You see how the knife hits my finger? See that? So it's not going to cut it, all right? So then you're going to have the root faced out to the left away from you, and you're going to bring your knife towards the bottom, and you're going to do it on a slant. So we're going to kind of cut up. And holding that onion firmly because we don't want it to fall apart. And the pieces that do fall off, stick them in your stock pot. And then we're going to have another cut right up above, and then we're going to have another cut right on top. Now from there, this is where you're going to get your dice. Look at that. They're already starting to come apart naturally. It's magic in the kitchen. Okay, here we go. Again, having your bear claw, holding my knife firmly. There we go. And it's a rotating motion. Do you see that motion? My knife is here, and then it comes down. It's a rotating motion. You don't want to do this. We want to just rotate. My hands are going back. My onion's securely on the board because it's cut side down. It's nice and secure. Look at that. It's beautiful. So this is a beautiful small dice right there. Now, we don't want to lose these bits and pieces. Why should we waste this? Just, again, holding your hand. Come right on up to that root. And you're going to use that whole piece. And then this is going to go in the pot. All right. So there is our small dice. Now I'm going to show you medium dice. All right. So we're going to do a medium and a large dice. So again, the same thing. Getting a comfortable position with our knife. Always when you're doing any knife work, don't be leaning. Get that good stance, right? Okay, so let's get our slices. This is going to be a larger than the small. So we're going to make these slices. You can see that they're further apart, and then we're going to bring one slice in, kind of on a downward motion, and then that top slice as well, right? All right, and then we're going to come in above, having our bear claw, knives on the board, and we're going to bring our knife in a rocking motion all the way through the onion. All right, so then you can see that that's a medium dice. All right. When you're using your knife on your board, if you can get used to it, use the back of your knife. Rubbing your blade across the board will dull it. Okay, and let's not waste these bits and pieces right in the stock pot. Okay, now getting to a larger dice, obviously, right? Bear claw, have a really nice firm grasp on my knife. And then these are going to be larger slices. You can see the difference. All right, so look at what we have. We have so much prep work done. This is so exciting. Okay, we have our large, we have our medium, and then we have our small dice. And I just want you to notice, no tears, because we left that root on. You take that root on, the first thing that happens is it just releases all of that pungency in the onion, and that's what makes you cry. All right, so we have our large, we have our medium, we have our small dice. Woohoo! So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and I am going to show you how to do a Julien. All right, well, here we go with Julien. We're going to use carrots for this demo. Now, carrots are all different kind of sizes, right? So when you're peeling your carrot, I suggest getting a piece of newspaper, get a piece of parchment, put it down on your board, take your, what is this thing called again? I forget what this is called, peeler, right? And again, so watching your fingers, because these things are sharp. I've taken a piece of skin off, gross. Yeah, it doesn't feel good. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this like I was holding my knife. I'm gonna keep my fingers below my blade area. And I'm just going to peel with one stroke going down. And the great thing about having this parchment gang is that it has all your waste on it. You don't have to worry about wiping your board up time and time again. And this will go right into your stock pot. All of these little bits and pieces. All right, so let's get one more done. Carrot, 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 peeling, 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 peeling. This is the fun though that we have in the kitchen, right? And carrots are, just think about all the vitamin C. Boost your immune system, eat raw carrots, caramelize carrots, get as many carrots as you can in your body. Did I say carrot? Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna take this right into the stock pot. Just like that, right in the garbage can. Okay, so again, for all of our cutting, one thing we talked about is being safe and having a stabilized surface. So how do you stabilize that carrot, just like we did the onion? Well, again, being safe, having a bear claw, we're going to take our top off. We're going to take that bottom off, throw it right into the stock pot. But I'm looking for about 2 inches for a Julien, so we're just going to go ahead and cut that in half. Do the same thing here. Make sure they're even. You can always eat that piece. And then we're just going to take this small piece right here off the end of our carrot. Notice how my hand is still in that bear claw motion. Nice secure on the board. I'm going to bring my knife into this end piece here and cut that end off. Just a nice sliver, if you will, because what happens is then it's not rolling and you have a surface to work off of, and this is really, really important in the kitchen. So for our Julien, we're going to go ahead and just cut some slices. Now with the carrot, it's more fibrous. It's not as easy to glide your knife through like you would an onion. So you're really going to have a firm hold on this knife. Come down, you're cutting planks, right? All the way down. Being really safe, going slow. There we go. So we have these nice planks, about 1/8 of an inch, right? What we're going to do is we're going to line them up. You can cut 2 at a time. You can cut 3 at a time. It's absolutely up to you. So here we go with our Julien. So that's kind of a fancy word for strips, guys. And we could go thinner and shorter and make matchsticks. So that is like your perfect Julien. These are fantastic for sauté. They're fantastic for salads. You get this nice bite, right? Okay, wonderful. So now if we want to go larger, obviously a larger Julien, we're just going to take the piece. We want them even though. Like we want some pretty work here. So then, all right, you can see the difference there. There we go. And keeping our board clean, let's move on to the next thing. Exciting. So I like a roll cut because it's a little different, right? You get different textures with all your cuts, large, small, little fat pieces. I love a roll cut because it's fun and you get a different bite when you're eating. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring our knife up and over the carrot. We're going to hold the carrot in a bear claw motion to keep it safe. And we're going to bring the knife down on an angle so we get this kind of oblique cut at the end, right? So this is where the term roll cut comes into play. You're going to roll the carrot, right? And then you're going to cut straight down. There's your cut. And then you're going to cut it again. And then you're going to roll it towards you so you can get that cut again. And then you're going to roll it. And then you're going to cut it. Then you're going to roll it. Look at how fun those are. What a great little unique cut, right? Impress everyone you work with and everyone you're cooking for. But I want to just make sure you're seeing that. So you see that's on an angle, right? And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to have that edge come towards me. And then I'm going to take my knife overhead, bring it down in that roll motion, and I'm going to get that cut. So let's finish this carrot. This is what they're going to look like when they're a little larger. We're going to take that end, put it in the stock pot. So you're going to see with that one carrot, you're going to see small roll cuts, you're going to see medium, and you're going to see large. So what we just did, just a little refresher here, we have a medium Julien, we have a small Julien, we have our small roll cuts, we have medium, and we have large. Large would be great for stew. The small ones would be great for roasting and throwing into some kind of a saute. So there you go. All right, so we're going to continue. Notice how I'm holding this, right? Totally secure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, just keep our blade nice and honed. All right, so we're going to go right into mince. We're going to mince some garlic. So the two most common cuts in the kitchen are going to be your dicing and your mincing. So we're going to get back here, garlic, you're so fancy. All right, we're going to take all this paper. I'm going to put it right into my stock pot. Yes, I put my garlic paper in my stock pot. That would be the Italian in me coming out. All right, garlic, super easy to mince. Take your knife. If you don't feel comfortable with your knife, grab a bowl. All right, take your knife, put it over, smash it. Make sure that there's not a bunch in there when you smash it though, because it'll explode all over your board and your knife will slide off. So we're gonna do 2 more pieces, show you again, demo with this cute little bowl here. Crush it. 1 more, crush it. There we go. So then the paper comes off easily. And then for mincing purposes, what we're going to do, it's the same thing kind of as an onion, right? And it really helps to smash that garlic because you're making your job easier with your mince. So we're just gonna cut these little slices, right, all the way across. Do you notice how my fingers became that bear claw? I pulled them back, so I can't hurt myself. Okay, and then the same thing, just bring this all the way through, all the way up towards your root. And you can smash the garlic a little bit on the board there, and you can see that we've got our mince. Oh, it's a terrible sound when you drag your knife across the board. But there's our mince, and we're gonna go right into a chiffonade of basil. I like to use basil because for this demo, because it's nice to cut basil in strips for a garnish. So you're gonna take your leaf, you're gonna take your stems off, you're gonna take your leaves, largest to small. I'm having fun. Are you guys having fun? I hope you're having fun. All right, and then we're going to put them all together like so. And then you're going to roll them. Okay, and you're going to keep your hands safe right into that bear claw. Your knife's going to be over, and you're just going to start cutting these nice strips. I want you to see what I'm doing here. So my knife is going to come in, I would say about 1/8 of an inch, right? This is the thing too with your herbs. You don't go through your herbs over and over again because it bruises them and it pulls the flavor out. You want to keep the flavor in the herb so the flavor's in your food. That is a really great trick and something really important to remember. Okay? So again, see how my knuckles are up here? It's going to be my guide all the way through my basil, coming all the way down to the end when I move my finger. So look at that beautiful, look at that little beautiful strip. And you notice that there's no green left on my board. So when you have a bunch of green left on your board, it's because you smashed the heck out of your herbs. All right? So there we go with that. There's our mince, there's our chiffonade. Now I want to give you a little trick. When you're peeling turmeric or a ginger root, super easy to peel it. Grab a spoon, not a peeler. Just take it, hold it with both hands against your board, and you're just going to use your spoon to take all those bits and pieces off. See how quick that is? Kind of crazy, huh? It's rad. All right, so I want you to not throw away all these bits and pieces that are coming off of this ginger root. I want you to, guess what? What are we doing with all this? We're just putting it in the stock pot. Just like that. Okay? Let's clean this up. Let's go back. Ooh, let's grab our paring knife. So then on the rest of the ginger, you can just pull it apart. And then you just take these little ends off. Notice my hand, I said earlier, right? I have my finger up here to guide my paring knife. Just take those. I'm not a fan if you're not super comfortable with knives. Paring knives are really sharp. You can hold it like this to peel, but that's going to be up to you. Please be super safe. You're just going to peel those little bits and pieces off, and there's our ginger, which we could mince as well, but we're not going to do that right now because I want to show you one more thing. It's a surprise. Everybody that's on camera isn't excited though because I'm supposed to be done already, but I want to show you how to supreme a piece of citrus. Wipe your knife off because you're going to be dragging your garlic and everything you've chopped, you're going to be dragging it through your fruit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this secure on our board, right? make sure we're nice and clean here. There we go. All right, so we're going to take a slice right through the bottom and the top of the grapefruit. And then this, even if this was an orange, this would show you where your pith is. The pith is the white that comes around. You need to see that to understand how to supreme a piece of citrus. And what we mean by supreming is you're just going to want all of these segments. And it's fun and it's delicious. So you're going to start at the top on an angle, just like as if we were using the steel on a blade. And you're going to use your bare claw to hold it so it's not going anywhere. You can see that it's hitting the knife. And then we're going to, in a circular motion, bring the knife all the way through to the bottom. So we're peeling all this off. And we're going to continue around following that pith all the way around. So you see how my knife is going all the way through to the bottom? All the way around. Man, that smells delicious. I'm trying to think what I can keep this grapefruit rind for. I can maybe reduce it and throw it in a vodka tonic. That sounds really good right about now. Okay, here we go. I love this. This is one of my favorite things to do for salads and just to be, a little fancy for guests. So now you're going to take your paring knife. You see the different veins here? So these are all of our segments. We're going to take our knife, our paring knife. Please don't use your chef's knife for this. And you're going to drag it through top to bottom. And you can feel that skin that's holding the segment together, right? Same thing on the other side. You're going to do that all the way around until you get this beautiful segment. Look at that. That's so awesome. Delicious. Okay, so let's do a quick review. We went over mincing, we went over chiffonade, we went over Julien, we went over dicing, roll cuts, and how to peel your root veg such as turmeric and ginger. And we did a little surprise for everybody here on set and for you. We did a supreme cut. So that wraps up knife skills right now. And we're going to move on, and I don't know what's next, but it's going to be fun and it's going to be engaging. It's going to be educational. And first and foremost, it's going to be healthy. And everything we do is going to make you better cook in the kitchen, and it's also going to boost your immune system. So stick around.